Oh boy, do we have some topics for you, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. My name is Brimstone. This is RevTech, and we are going to be doing another episode of the Game Talk Podcast. First topic is to be capture card problems. Next is Nvidia PUBG shutdown. And Intel versus AMD. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, what you guys think of this episode. Because this is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be something... I don't know. We don't normally do controversial stuff that much, but Intel versus AMD is interesting. And the whole PUBG shutting down for patriotic reasons, which is the mobile version. I know, clickbait. Shame on me. What's going on, Rev? How you doing tonight, man?
Doing pretty good, man. Chilling. Let's go. It's an interesting show tonight. Got a lot of people are gonna be with that AMD Intel, conversation. Fanboys. I know you fangirls out there of these products. I know. I see you.
Yeah, dude. So the fanboyism between the companies is the interesting part. I was just kind of when you showed me the article, I was like, really? I expect this from users and stuff and ignorant people. Not so much from the corporate side. I wasn't expecting that. Corporate side? Really? Okay.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it with Intel.
That's so strange.
Well, what has Intel got? Think about it. What has Intel got at this point? Their CPUs are not doing well. They're having a shortage, and now they're talking crap about come at us, come at me, bro. You can't beat us with performance, and it's
they already did. Newsflash.
Yeah. Well, we could say yes and no until we see reviewers like Gamer Nexus and stuff like that. AMD could show us all the slides they want, and they could show us pre-recorded shit until I see it real, or until I see one of my buddies like Brimstone get a juicy new Ryzen CPU and motherboard and see day-to-day performance from them.
Yes.
Then let's have that real conversation.
Yep, definitely. Overall, I mean...
Oh, and speaking of old technology, guys, in this podcast, I wanted to show this bad boy right here.
That is a thing of art, by the way.
This right here.
Little antique Microsoft MP3 player right there, boys and girls.
That is a creative MP3 player.
Oh, creative. For some reason, I keep thinking Zune.
This was 2004 when they had the Chunky Monkey... back in the day when they were competing with the iPod Color. the iPod Color.
Right? The iPod Color. I remember when that thing was first coming out and everybody was freaking out over it.
Still works to this day, ladies and gentlemen, and also 20 gigs of storage. You don't get that now. You didn't get that back then. Back then, 20 gigs of storage was
a myth.
And you got it with Creative. And Creative did some innovative things with their products over Apple, but they fell flat and nobody really supported it. And
do you still use that?
Yes, it actually works. Battery is shit, but it still works.
How bad's the battery now?
I would say probably when you're listening to music, you probably get maybe 2 hours top.
Ooh, that's rough, man.
And it had a microphone jack. It had a microphone built into this, so you could do voice recordings, which was cool. Back then, you didn't get that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Creative fell apart. They tried to compete with Apple, and so did Microsoft, and they both fell. I want to see the MP3 player market come back. Really.
So do I. So it kind of is on Amazon. If you go and you check out the Sony players, the cheaper Sony players and whatnot, the reviews, thousands.
Speaking of the MP3 player market, I am so tired of hearing about why the iPod Touch exists in 2019. It exists because there's a lot of people like myself that want to rip music or have large files of music that want to put it on,
I'm going to get one.
I tell people
there's
you don't
no reason
your
not
phone.
to. Well, yeah, exactly. That's my point. Yeah, why would I want to waste my phone battery on music?
And two, if you're doing IRL shit, right? So you can turn on your mobile hotspot, right? As you're on the go, right?
Yep.
You can have one viewing chat, and you can have one doing your face and whatnot as you're in real life, doing IRL shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
so it's a win-win.
Well, not to mention, iPod, like the iPod Touch stuff, you can do a lot more today with it than you could back when they were first created. Back then, they didn't have all these different apps that you could get for free now. You know what I mean? Back in the day, you had to pay for every app, if you remember. Twitter, you got charged for. Facebook, you got charged for. Everything on the Apple product line was charged, even if it was a free application. Nowadays, Apple have opened the doors. They've allowed things in. They moderate them still as heavily as if they were making money.
You know what I want to get?
It
You know what I want to get
everything.
so badly?
What?
What I want to get so badly, I didn't mean to interrupt there.
No, you're good.
What I want to get so badly is a original iPod video. Like classic.
That could be interesting.
Like, I want to get one so bad.
The original Apple bump on the back of it. The little,
I miss those.
Yeah.
Because I was going through my collection of stuff, and I realized in our drawer I had my broken iPod video. Broken.
Right.
Back in the day when it got smashed when I was in high school, and I can't believe I still have that. But getting back to our article, Intel has no merit to talk shit, in my opinion. They just really don't. I think this is just trying to keep attention to them as much as they can.
Yeah.
10 nanometer they're working on now. They're struggling to get down to 7 nanometer. They still got a foothold within the laptop market, but that's slowly, we're finding out that the reason why Intel laptops are selling so high is because they allowed these companies to play roughshod, and that was their own doing. Yeah. And why AMD could sell so cheap, and now AMD is starting to gain that market in itself. And you can see,
it's a percentage amount that nobody thought they'd ever make. They never thought AMD would ever have that kind of market share. They were like, they're gonna get 4%, 5%. Yeah, not a big deal. Now they're climbing up to the 15 and 20% mark, and it's like, okay, now they're making waves.
Yep. You can also, and you know what? Good on AMD. They needed to take a victory march for quite a while, and they're doing it right now.
I agree.
They're gonna shine for a while, and we said this years ago. We said this years and years ago that there was gonna be peaks and valleys, and we did say AMD is gonna rise again, and Intel's gonna flounder. This is how the market always works. Usually, in the last couple decades, it was AMD for the early 2000s. And then when we hit 2008, Intel just rised and took over and dominated for almost a decade and a half.
Yeah.
And now it's AMD, and they're rising stuff. And Intel has nothing. Intel just needs to study from their competition and figure out what they're doing wrong.
The thing with, okay, so here's the thing when you're on the top, right? You get lazy, you get complacent, you don't work as hard because you're making so much money. And when you have server chips selling out left and right to major corporations for data centers and whatnot, it sort of puts you in this weird situation where you don't feel like you need to do anything. So, just saying, that is, and Nvidia is starting to feel this too. Nvidia is just as bad in the same boat as Intel is, where they feel like they don't need to earn our money anymore. And they feel like no matter what they do, they put their brand name on something, someone's going to buy it. And unfortunately, that's the market we're in. But what nobody sees coming is AMD. Because AMD isn't just a CPU manufacturer, as we know. They're also a GPU manufacturer. So they're taking on Nvidia and Intel at the same time. And to see them gain this kind of traction is pretty impressive, especially at the price point that they're getting. And not to mention, they landed how many major contracts this year?
2K, for what my knowledge.
No, I'm saying 2K. On hardware wise. No, I'm saying on hardware wise, not just software, but hardware. You got Google Stadia's bought into them. You have the consoles that are buying into them, except for Nintendo. You have, you've got a lot of data servers right now buying into the new
board partners.
The board partners,
are giving the
discounts to purchase from them, and they're selling to wholesalers at a massive discount.
And the premium boards are coming first to AMD before Intel going forward. So MSI, Gigabyte, Asus, all their boards, like Godlike and whatnot, are going to be first on AMD.
Yeah.
Because AMD is doing something uniquely different compared to Intel. Intel's going to take forever with this in a day. AMD is getting USB 4.0 first and PCI 4.0.
So let's talk about Nvidia. Now they're resetting their Turing GPUs, which is unique because they're putting more RAM on it, and they think that that's all they can do to meet the demands of their cards. And I think they're trying to pull a 1660 Ti, but just a different name.
My thing on the whole Nvidia thing comes back to Intel. They're pulling shit out of their ass from a hole in the ground.
True.
At this point.
True. Very true. Yeah.
The reason for it is their knee-jerk reaction to AMD. They've always done this, and I agree with a lot of the aspects what's going on with AMD. And I was listening to a lot of YouTubers out there in the world of things, and I agree that it kind of reminds me of when the 290X came out and how the 5700 XT eventually they're going to drop the price and try to. I think they made a little bit of they made it too early of a jump, in my opinion, to bring out Navi. I think it was not what everybody was expecting, but I get why they did it, and they're going to try to pull like what the 290X was when they first came out with Polaris architecture. And they're gonna try to lower. I believe this. They're gonna lower the prices, eventually. Yeah. They're gonna realize it's not selling, and they're gonna try to push it at everybody as much as they can.
Right.
Now back to the Nvidia stuff. Nvidia, this is desperation because nobody wants their cards.
I feel like it is too. Well, not at that price point, right? And one thing that Nvidia has always been sort of guilty for, along with AMD when the crypto mining shit was really booming. They allowed the market to determine what their cards were worth. And that was a huge mistake on their part, because when they were launching GPUs at 1,000, when they were supposed to be launching at 599, that killed their market share. Like, it tanked it. Like, it was a bad deal for them. And AMD was guilty of this too for a short period of time, until they realized, maybe this isn't a good idea, because we were gaining traction and now we lost some of our people. There was just no reason to upgrade for that price. At the time, a 1060 was worth $750.
Yeah, I was right at the peak of mining.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, bro. Like, nobody wanted to pay for that. Not like that.
I got my 1060 just before the mining craze started.
I should have. I really should have. I think the biggest saver when it came to the GPU market was AMD, because they still launched the 400 series.
Well, right now as a gamer, if you're going for graphics cards,
AMD all the way. I'm just gonna say
right now
AMD.
AMD's giving away their mid-range cards right now, high-end mid-range cards that were from a generation ago for hella cheap.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
580, a 590. I've even seen a 580 go as low as a 4 gig or 8 gig edition for $80. Like, there is nothing in the Nvidia space right now.
No.
Like, Nvidia, people have lost interest with it in them because of Nvidia's like, well, we don't have competition, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make a card out of nowhere and charge whatever we want because we think we have the market.
That is very true. Look what AMD's offering. Not to sound like a fan, not to sound like a fan man, but they're offering the 10% RTX experience versus the take up 90% of your resources.
Making any strides in ray tracing until it matured. And do you blame them? No. A lot of people are upset. And that's one thing I really am annoyed about. It's like you see a lot of people online moaning and groaning. Well, the Navi cards weren't what we were expecting. And the thing is, they don't need to put ray tracing on it. Ray tracing shouldn't be a factor until we see these consoles out.
And if you're not an AMD fan and you don't understand them, why are you expecting them of anything?
Exactly.
That's what I want to know.
Open mind.
Go in with an open mind. Go in with low expectations, and you might surprise yourself. Don't go in there thinking you're going to get the next Nvidia, because you're not. And in fact, the way Nvidia is acting now, I don't think I'm going to be purchasing a card from them for a long time.
Well, I want to see what Intel's going to do with their graphics side.
Now, that is something that's interesting. Yeah.
I want to see what Roger Goodori and the head guy at Nvidia. Nvidia's been losing people left and right.
Yeah.
To Intel and now AMD, because people are starting to see the grass is greener on the other side.
Is it
Nvidia,
me? Is it me, or are these last couple of years been kind of weird? All of these major corporations have been losing people and losing a lot of their market share. Like a lot.
Did you see on YouTube top people like PC Proper and all these people on YouTube are leaving YouTube and signing deals with Intel? Like legitimately to go work with them? I'm like, Intel's like really getting a team together for their GPU side of it.
Well, yeah, they want them hard. They want them to give them their input, and they want them to work side by side with software engineers and hardware engineers to give us what we believe we want. You know, like, I mean, Nvidia really hasn't had much in the form of competition since 2014. Back when the R9 stuff was coming out. Like, it really hasn't been much from AMD.
Isn't it going to be interesting? So AMD's got it on the CPU side. Meanwhile, Intel can come out with a GPU and possibly compete. Wouldn't that be interesting?
Nvidia better play their cards right. That's all I got to say, dude. Like, if they don't play their cards right, I can see AMD and Intel slowly voiding them out if they're not careful. Think about that. You have two people, which one, it might become a future competitor against your product line, an old partner, and then you have an old nemesis, like in Team Red, that you have one coming from the left, one coming from the right. All they gotta do is move towards the center, and Nvidia might pop. Who knows?
That's true. I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a 3-team race. I think Intel's going to be interesting coming into the space. They've been in the space before.
Yeah, and they were terrible. They were terrible at it.
They had some ideas, but they just couldn't. They couldn't sum it up and put it together. But wouldn't it be interesting? And kind of like if AMD doesn't get their acts together with GPUs, let's say this Navi flops, and they're selling it at a loss.
Yep.
And Intel comes in with everything we want. Isn't it going to be interesting? It's going to be, and Intel's also doing FreeSync as well. Keep that in mind. Intel and AMD have kind of gone adaptive sync, and I'm kind of comparing it to HD DVD versus Blu-ray on that note.
Yeah, I see where you're going. Yeah,
and G-Sync is dying. I don't know why Nvidia keeps.
Did you say dying? Because I think it's dead.
Well, it's dying in an aspect of you can't shell the money out.
You know it's dead when they're starting to utilize FreeSync.
Yeah, when they brought out an update recently to enable FreeSync monitors, because that's where the market went. The market went like Blu-ray, where if I can get it for cheaper, right? If I can get it for cheaper and get the same quality, I'm gonna go with the cheaper shit. Dude, and that's where the market went.
So this is kind of what Nvidia did. They did the HD DVD combination with the UMD disc from the PSP.
Yep.
The PSP thing, the UMD, comparable would be the so-called node capsule that they put into these monitors to enable G-Sync. They said that these things were expensive to engineer and create. They were claiming that each module, in order for them to make their money back, has to cost anywhere from $200 and up a piece. And some of these monitors were claiming to have like 3 and 4 of these modules installed for optimum G-Sync compatibility. So think about that. If they put all that money into this shit, and then out of the blue they're like, okay, it's FreeSync. The heat is off, guys. Don't worry. You don't need to purchase this anymore. I feel like somebody lied somewhere with Nvidia. I think that was a huge fucking lie.
Well, gamers, here's the thing about gamers, what we know. They want cheaper prices, and companies want mass profit. And right now, FreeSync, you're seeing it with FreeSync now. Like, you're going to eventually be able to go to the store at Walmart and pick up a Samsung TV or an LG TV or Best Buy or wherever you get your electronics.
Yeah.
And you're going to have FreeSync enabled. You could do that right now with the new Acer Predator monitor that Walmart's been launching for like $350. Stream keeps going online, offline for me.
Yeah, let me check OBS. No, it's now mind you, they did purchase PUBG. Okay, they were purchased. and shutting the game down for their own game for patriotic reasons. I'm just, I mean,
PUBG's dying.
Oh, dude.
Let's just face it. PUBG is dying.
What sucks is it's dying at the wrong time because it's slowly gaining its old community back throughout the through the updates and the fixes they've been launching on this thing. And from what my friends have told me, like, it plays 100 times better than it was when we played it.
It's a little too late.
That's what I'm saying. When you got Rings of Elysium gaining that kind of community that PUBG had, I can't blame Tencent, dude. Like, I can't blame Tencent for wanting to do this.
Isn't Rings part of Tencent too?
Yes, it is.
And I get why they're canceling PUBG. They're going with a better product. They're going where the fans want to go. Like, for instance, the director of Fortnite was saying that he wished Fortnite never became a thing. He was talking before they launched it. He was talking about canceling because he didn't want it to become a thing. And now look, it's there between them and Rings is the two money grabbers, and I would say Riot Games, big money grabbers for Tencent at this point.
Dude, Tencent is raking in the cash right now. Like, I think they're actually number one now in entertainment industry because they own how many filming houses and studios?
Yep.
They got stock and shares in everybody. Fuck, they go figure.
PUBG, man, I haven't played that game in ages. And I don't want to because PUBG was a pile of mess. They soured the relationship with fans, and they brought it to PS4 and Xbox One.
Well, let's not mention Mr. Unknown himself was posting some pretty stupid shit on Twitter, where it just turned the players off when he was talking about, you guys are racist for wanting to block China from playing the game. Yeah, now look at your game, dude. Now your game got fucking shut down. How do you feel about that, you fucking retard?
Maybe you shouldn't have taken the deal to begin with Tencent to begin with.
Dude, no shit, bro. Like, he could have just easily said no, but you know what, dude? Money talks. Money talks, bullshit walks,
And my thing with PUBG is you don't screw over consumers.
No.
That's period.
No, you don't fuck your consumer up and then insult your fan base and treat them like they're a bunch of degenerates, dude. Yep. Especially when it's a group of gamers that really love the competitive scene and that brought his game into the ESL scene, into the DreamHacks of the world, into all of these gaming events.
And their game was riddled with hackers to begin with.
Yeah, I know, dude. That's a crazy part. And the gamers were willing to forgive that.
If the PC version dies tomorrow, I wouldn't bat an eye.
I wouldn't bat an eye. I spent $5 when it was on sale. I don't care. I really don't care. Shit, I bought me a copy. I got our buddy a copy, and then we played it for like a few months. We really liked it, and we're like, man, this would be great on console, right? So Xbox, it comes out. We were excited. We played it, and we're like, dude, why does this run better on console than it does PC?
Yeah, that was the weird part about that game. Like, I got it for free. I got it for free for a friend, and it ran so much better on Xbox One.
Yeah, dude. Why does 30 frames look smoother on Xbox versus the 60 frames supposedly
and then
on
you
PC?
Go play it on you go on PC and you're like 145 frames and you're like, that's not 145 frames.
You're like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way that's 145 frames.
No, you look at it and you're just like, what am I looking at here?
Yeah, it was terrible, dude.
And it did the same thing as Arma did with the CPU running on one core and then GPU. Yeah,
I know,
high.
dude. You have this fucking 8-core beast under the hood, and it's only utilizing the one core. It's like, what? Why?
And PUBG, most of the time on cell phone, on mobile side, I heard it was mostly bot.
Bots. It is mostly bots. It is almost like I have a buddy at work that plays them. Reconnection successful. Sweet. I don't know why this does this, dude. Like, I don't get it, bro. This is the LGX AverMedia Live Gamer Extreme. This is an awesome card. The model number is GC550. This card is wonderful. I haven't had it broken on me. I figured out what the problems were with it, and it wasn't the card's fault. It was actually Behringer's fault. It will not run properly if you have a Behringer Euphoria UMC 204 HD. The driver software that comes with that thing conflicts with this. And for some reason or another, this will freeze, it will skip frames, or go to a slideshow when you're using the UMC Behringer's driver suite. So you got to be careful with that. But other than that, this thing is rock fucking solid. It's lasted longer than my Elgato.
Does that card like work with Linux?
Yep. Yes, they do. They have an automatic update on Linux. I already tried it out. I've tried it out last year, and it runs smoother. Just so you know, FYI, this runs smoother on Linux.
Is that USB 2 or USB 3.1?
This is USB 3.0.
Right on.
And you can easily plug this bitch in, and it works.
And they do have an upgrade model, the Live Extreme 2. You can go on Amazon. It's $160. It's red. It's actually red and black now. USB 3.1 pretty much does everything that the Elgato HD60S does, and it has 4K pass.
This records in 60-bit. If anybody's interested, you want some really clear looking shit, 60 fucking bit, dude.
Yeah, you know, looking at I had an AverMedia card. My favorite my bad stream. AverMedia card would be the Live Gamer Portable. I love that thing to death. And it died on me. And a friend of ours had it too. A buddy of ours had the light version.
Yeah, he had the little triangle thing, yeah.
It was great. I had a light. So I got the Live Gamer Portable. I had that for years. And then 4 years after I owned it, it died. In between that, I had the Elgato HD30, I think it was at the time. That big, blacky, bulky box.
Yeah, it was like... It was like the Hop Hodge ripoff, right? At the time, when Hop Hodge was a huge thing amongst the YouTube community. Yeah, I remember that thing, dude. That was good times, though. I mean, even back then, that was actually pretty damn good quality stuff on that thing.
I like the fact that you could do old school game retro recording. A lot of companies are going away from it when it comes to capturing. I wish they would bring that back as a port on the side of it. That would be
Oh yeah.
Because there's a lot of retro people out there. I don't want to go out and buy an HDMI converter box.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way.
So with AverMedia, though, I will say this. Because I have both. I have an Elgato and I have an AverMedia. I've had more issues out of the box with Elgato before I even had my Behringer. Okay, this was way before that. It was terrible. I had a terrible experience. We're talking about freezing. All the issues that I had out of the box was straight up Elgato drivers. And the video quality was flat colors, low detail, and it looked washed out. This thing, I first received it. This has been the best quality I have ever seen of any capture card. The colors pop. It renders really sharp. I don't know what codec they used, what kind of sorcery they used, but this outshines the Elgato product line, in my opinion. This is really good.
So, me and Brimstone are on the opposite spectrum when it comes to cards. So, he's bought only a few capture cards, and I've bought a lot of capture cards.
Oh,
I started out on, oh God, if you want to go through the history, real quick. I had the Dazzle for a while there, back when Justin TV started. That was the only thing you could get. Like, that was the thing you went to Best Buy for.
Bro, they're still selling it at Best Buy, the Platinum Edition.
Yeah. And it's great if you're doing, like, tape recordings and things like that. You know, if you have VHS tapes you want to save, maybe you have some family shit you want to get an old VCR for. They're great for those things.
Yeah.
And then I experienced Roxio Game Capture for the first time. And that blew my mind. But I didn't like the CPU. You know, the CPU does all the encoding.
Yeah.
Not the on the fly, and the software was horrendous. And they still sell that. You can go get an HD, you can get yourself a Roxio HD game capture that does, and if you're on a budget and you want to get one of those, still to this day, they have really good software. I mean, not really good software, really good picture for the price. You're only spending like $70, like $70-$60, and you're getting HD 30 1080p. Same with the Aver Lite. The Aver Lite is 30, but they're in there. Then you have Elgato, which I've had the Elgato HD 30.
That's what I have.
I had the 60, and then I upgraded from this, sold it to a friend, and got the 60S because I got told it was better, and got that. No. I got the Pro first. And if you guys are getting the Pro, if you have a Ryzen board, keep this in mind. Any Ryzen board, and you, if you don't get the updated version of it, you're screwed. So you just bought a $160 card, technically, or the 4K one. Put it in a Ryzen system, it don't work. It doesn't work because they're firmware.
So let's talk about those issues real quick. So I talked to you about my issue. He talked to you about his issue. All right, so after we bought ours, only recently in the last 3 years has there been better alternatives and smaller alternatives to these and cheaper.
Yeah.
I would suggest to anybody, if you don't feel like going through the workaround issues that we did, if you don't feel like going through all the problems that we had to go through to get these things to work right, I would say get the knockoffs. Do not buy either one of these vendors right off the bat. Get the knockoff. You could buy, I think AP Tech has one that looks like an Elgato camera capture, which is a little thing the size of a keychain, for like $60.
Yeah,
and it works better. So, and it doesn't require any firmware or software drivers. It's literally plug and go, and you're set. There's even default options that Windows use for 60 FPS and upscales your rendering to that device. So, might be a good alternative for you guys.
So getting back to the issue that I had. So Ryzen, if you're getting a HD 60 Pro, be careful on which one you get, because the firmware, and I've been told by Corsair themselves to own Elgato now. The original owner went on his own and did some home. He's doing home equipment.
Yeah, he's doing home media equipment only, like broadcasting
like
and stuff.
Like Nest systems, like that. And he sold it to Corsair, and Corsair's done nothing except release more Stream Decks and the 4K, which I've heard the 4K 60 Pro heats up like a heat wagon and dies because they have nothing to control the heat.
All they have are heat spreaders. They have no fans.
Yeah. So with the HD60 Pro, it depends on the model, and they did tell me over customer service that they could put out a firmware update for this product, but they won't. So that's just screwing with the consumer. So you don't know what model you're getting, so you're playing Russian roulette on what model you get. And on a Ryzen board, the card can't decipher 4X or 8X. That's why it doesn't work. Because they doesn't have the correct firmware to decipher that.
And aside from the Ryzen issues, Windows 10 updates have already broken some of these cards.
Yep. True. A lot of our friends are having issues with the HD60S. I'm having stuttering problems. I'm having to fall back to NDI at the moment to stream tonight because of the issues.
You're doing NDI again?
I'm going to be doing NDI temporarily for tonight until I get my new AverMedia card. You know, Elgato, piece of work company that their support is great, but outside of that, they don't want to help you. Like, they want you to set it in so they can troubleshoot it. If they can't recreate the problem in their testing, they'll just send you back the card and you're just back in square one.
Yeah, they'll tell you there's nothing wrong with it, that it worked perfectly on their end. The thing is like, no two computers are the same. Different processors with different motherboards have different results, and I think it's kind of ridiculous that a company is so bold to tell you that there's nothing wrong with your card because they couldn't make the problem themselves.
So Elgato works very well on the Intel side. On AMD side, with a lot of the AMD drivers and whatnot going on, it doesn't play nice. So if you're going out and you're building a Ryzen system, all-in-one system, and you're wanting to go Elgato, just be prepared to go through problems. Now, I'm not saying AverMedia is the be-all, end-all, or these Chinese knockoff cards of the Magewells and stuff of the world. I've heard, Black Magic is having issues.
Yeah, Black Magewell. Yeah.
And Magewells is the top of the line you go. If you want a capture card that does everything, you go Magewell.
Yeah.
And Magewell's about $500 to $900.
It's pretty expensive.
But Magewell, I'll give them their due. One card I want ever from them would be the 4 HDMI input one, where they have 4 HDMI inputs and you can have 4 different screens going on.
That's fucking cool. Awesome. So you don't need to get a splitter separately. You can just buy that shit.
Yes, and well, you have to buy a splitter anyway because they don't have outputs. It's all inputs. And
Fair.
It's 4K HDR with 10-bit coloring and 444, and you're spending $900, but you're getting 4 signals going into this thing.
Yeah.
So you can have a DSLR camera, you can have your PS4, your Xbox One, or a PS5, or Xbox, whatever they're gonna call it.
Yeah.
And Nintendo Switch all in one. So I'll give Magewell for the price what you're getting, and you're getting a beefy heatsink and a fan on their products. They are taking care of you, and I heard their warranty is outstanding. They want to work with you because their product is the gold standard when it comes to capture cards, from what I've been told. I've never owned a Magewell product. I would love to one day, but $900 is a tough pill to swallow for what you're trying to.
So a good place to shop, and I know it's the king of knockoffs, but you know what? Fuck it. If you got $20, get it. They have Magewell and AGPT at Tech OEM knockoffs over at AliExpress and Wish.
There's another one, DigiNow or something like that.
DigiNow, yeah.
DigiNow is doing a whole knockoff of the USB 3.0, Magewell, what everybody loves. You could buy 3 of those for a really good price.
Yeah. You usually get them for like a fraction of the cost. That's why people buy them. And there's some YouTubers here that have used them and said they're actually really good.
I will say this. I've owned a lot of capture cards, and I've been with Elgato for so long. It's really disappointing that my relationship with them has soured. And it soured. It didn't sour overnight.
No. This is like over the course of time. Of course, they're owning.
When I buried the hatchet with Brimstone, the first thing he was asking me, well, how's your dual PC setup? And I'm like, a headache. He's like, why? Capture card. And capture card's everything to my stream. I don't use NDI because until they get that matured and better and whatnot, until they get it right.
Well, you have 2 separate pieces of hardware, and that's including the capture card that does your encoding.
Yeah.
And 2, another PC that doesn't have to do shit. All it has to do is display and broadcast, which is great. So I can see why you do it.
Me and Brimstone agree to disagree when it comes to dual PCs to regular PCs. And I've come off that, and I'll say this in the podcast tonight, that I've come off that. If you can go out and get a 8-core or 16-core or even a 6-core from Intel, you're set. Like, minus that you have to deal with some game compatibility issues, and that's why I went to dual PC to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get over that hurdle, sometimes one PC does look just as good as dual PCs when it's done right.
When it's done
and you get the right,
yeah. I mean, if
you have the right settings.
Yeah, so if you have Relive, and a lot of people don't know this, if you can get Relive to work properly, it is a fantastic software suite. Now,
same with Shadowplay. Shadowplay is unbelievable too in a lot of places.
So I'll say this: I finally did it. I didn't tell you today because I figured I was going to save it for the podcast. I had to uninstall my drivers. I had to uninstall everything with the driver uninstaller software you linked me, because my system after this last update had started crashing again. Now, have you noticed, this is the first time I booted up, I haven't crashed yet. So I had to bite the bullet. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Relive has a lot of work to do, because right now, I mean, like I said, unless you guys can get this shit working right, it's not worth it. Because I sat there for the first time the other night experiencing the same thing my boy here, Metro, was experiencing, where Relive was shutting itself off in the middle of my stream. And I never experienced that before until after the 19.5 update of Windows. When that happened, I was pissed. I was pretty angry. So
yeah, let me do the dance. Let me do the jingle.
So what I'm thinking about doing, though, honestly, I'm thinking about recording my gameplay videos when I do Brimstone's Gaming again for like random, just off-topic, off-hinges videos. I'm going to use the Windows capture. I'm going to see how it goes. It seems like it's pretty solid now with the new app update. So I'm definitely going to check out the game bar.
So I'll say this about Relive. I like the aspect of it, but I don't like all the problems with it. And I was the one that kept throwing and telling Brimstone, man, get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, because at the time, dude, I wasn't having any of the same issues you were.
What I don't like about AMD and their setting, I will only download their driver. I will not download any of their stuff behind
That's what
it.
I did. Yep, that's what I did.
And my thing is because it was hijacking my game settings, and anything I did to change my game settings, it'll just revert back to what AMD has said. And a lot of times it'll turn off VSync, which I need so my capture card doesn't screen tear. It was messing. It was hijacking. Like I was literally crashing out of games, blue screening of death, and I can't have that. That's inconsistent, especially when you're in like a competitive match with somebody.
Yeah.
And you get booted, and then you're like, those people are mad at you because you just screwed them out of a game, and then you screwed yourself. So I am buying a AverMedia Live Gamer Mini, or a Live Mini card. This is probably my third experience with AverMedia. I've had good success with them, and I wish I would have stuck with a card in particular, the Live Gamer HD internal card that came with the button on the side. It was the greatest capture card I owned, and it just worked. There was no having to go out and go get drivers. Now Elgato, whatever they're doing, they're not they need to put firmware. And this is the one thing I like about AverMedia is they give you the firmware and they give you the driver.
Yeah, they keep
all
it
in one
separate.
pack.
Yeah,
they keep it separate.
They keep it separate, or you can download the all-in-one driver, which is what I do. And it's really good. Like, the only thing that I have a problem with AverMedia right now is you have to run the installer as an administrator in order for it to work properly. You can't just double-click it and install. You have
and
to
also another thing with AverMedia is I learned this with I bought a Live Gamer Cap Lite, and I returned it because it's 30, and I could tell 30 frames per second. A lot of people can't. And it was disgusting to me. It was giving me a headache. So I was like, yeah, this is not gonna be good for a stream. 30 frames. Choppy. It looks a little choppy to me. I don't think that's gonna work out. I was gonna go with it because it was on the sale I got it used for $60. And I was like, this is gonna work out, and then I ended up returning it back to the store that I got it used for. And AverMedia, what I like is one thing I will tell you guys is don't plug your AverMedia card to start.
No, okay? That's why it's ranked so damn low.
Like, do not, if you buy an AverMedia card, and I'm going to say this in my first impressions of the card, and I'm going to do a video how to set it up, and I'm going to do this live tomorrow when I get my new one, is don't plug it in off the rip.
No,
it's well known. It is well known
and documented through all those fucking reviews.
In all the reviews I've seen, people have plugged it in thinking it's okay, and the card just bricks itself.
Yeah, because it breaks the firmware.
It breaks the firmware. So what you want to do is plug it in. After you're done unloading the drivers, plug it in. Then you want to go into after you plug it in and you test it and it works, then go get the firmware if there is firmware needed. And what's cool about AverMedia is they're talking to their community.
Yeah.
They always want to help their community. Unlike Elgato, where they don't want to do anything for you, AverMedia's on the opposite spectrum.
Elgato is like, yo, you guys bought our overly priced shit. Guess what? Sucker!
Speaking, so Mixing has said that talking about crashing, downloaded Metro Exodus, and each time I launch it, it crashes and resets my PC. Ouch.
That could be a GPU problem. It could either be a GPU or a CPU problem. When was the last time you changed your thermal paste on your CPU? And is your GPU properly inserted into your board? Like, you know what I mean? Like when you think it's pushed down all the way, but it's not, but it'll still power on. It'll still function sometimes. But
also,
it'll
too, make sure you're in high performance mode.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially if you're running AMD hardware. AMD.
I don't understand that, dude. Like, why did they do that? I think that's the biggest downfall with them is, why do you have to run your shit in high performance mode all the time just to run it stable? Why can't you just run it regular? That's so fucking stupid.
Like, they need full power for their hardware. If you're running a GPU with an Intel Mix 2, you want it on high performance.
That's so weird.
I know I've talked a lot about capture cards. It's not just me that's suffering the Elgato problems. A lot of our friends within the communities are having problems. It's a headache. A lot of people do use Elgato capture cards as their main thing to capture.
For the love of God, if you see an HC30 on there, don't buy it for $400 from Elgato. It's a shitty fucking card, man. Like, it was ahead of its time back in the day, but
30 FPS, you
can tell. Such a bad card. Yeah, it lasts forever. I know they are built like tanks, and that's why people go to Elgato. But for fucking, don't buy the $400 option on Amazon from Elgato. It is a ripoff, and I've seen people go in and give it reviews as of the last like couple of months actually, and I'm just like, don't be stupid. Don't be that guy.
If you're gonna, so capture cards I can recommend right now, legitimately, would be the AverCap Mini.
Yeah.
That seems to be the bread and butter right now. Of like, you can get that $100 flat someplace, which will get you HD 60, and it'll get you a lot of stuff. I would say the next one would be the AverMedia Live Gamer Extreme 3. I believe that's what they're called. That's what it is. And also the Live Gamer HD 2 and the Live Gamer HD 4K. If you're going to go Elgato, I would highly recommend just buying their stuff refurbished. Don't spend the hundreds of dollars. Just get it refurbished. On Amazon, they have renewed stuff. I'll link down below to everything after the show. And look at some of these Chinese knockoffs.
Seriously,
that's where you would want to be if you're starting.
If you don't want
starting out.
If you don't want to deal with firmwares and software updates like we do, like these Chinese knockoffs, you don't even need a driver. It'll run off of the default drivers that Windows provide you all the time, and it runs really good too. So take that into
and they're all Linux supported.
Yeah.
AverMedia is Linux supported. They have the the UVMC drivers, I believe it is. They automatically plug and play and you go. So like tomorrow, I don't even need to load the AverMedia drivers at all. Like literally, I could just plug and go and use the Windows camera app and just start recording that.
I'm gonna read mixing comment real quick. It's none of them. It was DX12 that caused it. I was able to launch and get it in without crashing in safe mode to switch DX11, and it fixed everything. I didn't know DX12 was having issues with Metro. That's weird. Because DX12 is supposed to be what makes that game shine, dude.
DX12, I've heard it's a mixed bag. Like, it works great, it doesn't. I just wish companies would go to Vulkan already. Like, Vulkan.
Why hasn't Vulkan become a standard, dude? Vulkan is amazing.
It's a standard on Linux. Vulkan. That's how they do the whole cross API thing with DXVK.
Yeah,
it's all be through Vulkan, because Vulkan in AMD's Vulkan. Well, Vulkan's now their own thing, but they were part of AMD for a while there, and they went over and helped Windows finish out DirectX 12. That's how the story. That's why they're so compatible together, because they helped out finish the API over on DirectX 12.
Well, AMD's thing was also a knock towards OpenGL. It was OpenCL, and the OpenCL stuff was pretty good too. That was the longest time that's what Linux was using as a standard before Vulkan came around. OpenCL, with my experiences with it, was really good. Like, you couldn't tell a difference between DirectX 11 and OpenCL. That's how good it was. Yeah. So take that into consideration. If you guys, if Vulkan isn't working out for you, check out OpenCL. It's really good. In fact, OpenCL was before it became Vulkan. So that's a good thing to check out on too, in case you're having issues like mixing here.
So if you guys are into the capture card thing, eBay, I would say AliExpress or Amazon would be your best bet. If you're buying an Elgato, if you have to have an Elgato card, I would tell you
AliExpress that shit.
If you have to, make sure you get it like a refurbished model would be your best bet than spending the $100. Like I've seen HD60s go literally right now for like $70. But on Amazon.
On in all honesty though, like if you have to have a name brand, like if you absolutely have to have a name brand, AverMedia and Blackmagic, the only two that are worth a damn right now.
Now I haven't touched on Razer. I did have a Ripsaw for a while there, and basically they were just recycling.
AverMedia,
they were recycling. And now with their new card, they went away from AverMedia and did their own thing, and I've heard nothing but horror stories.
Yeah.
Nothing but horror
Frame rate dips, fucking audio glitch, the whole 9 yards, man. Ooh. And they're expensive. They're not even cheap. They're actually really expensive.
Well, if you look at their card right now, it's $155. For $10 more, you can go get yourself a Live Gamer Extreme 3.
Or you
could just a better job.
Or you could just do what I do and get this bad boy for $56. When this first came out on Amazon, they launched it, and a week later, this thing went on sale. Pick this bitch up for $56. The best fucking deal I've ever had when it comes to capture cards.
Yep, and the what was the other? Or you could buy the Live Gamer Mini at the moment.
Yeah,
that's literally $100, close enough to $100 as you're gonna get. If you're into console streaming, or maybe you have a dual PC setup, now there is NDI out there. I didn't mention that. NDI is a thing that you could do. Eclipse Fox does a video, or Epis Fox does a video on it, where you could take through your internet connection to another internet connection.
Yep.
And you can have them talking together, and you can capture. That's what I'm going to be doing tonight on my stream temporarily.
I think that NDI thing is fascinating, though, because I've seen a lot of good shit being made with those when they get working right.
NDI, even the phone, right?
Yeah.
So I can put a signal up to the cloud, like Amazon servers, and drop it down through NDI.
Yeah, no, I know how it works, yeah.
And I can go and, I can be shopping and doing an IRL stream with my overlays and everything from my computer and just walk back and start streaming after.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when it's done right, when it's executed and done right. I've not seen an NDI setup yet I've seen a few, but that's like a handful of them getting it right. And a lot of times they have to do some type of turning stuff to make it work properly with their router, forward port, make things work properly. You know what I mean?
Fair enough, yeah.
So anything else that we need to talk about?
Yeah, there's gonna be a few things I was gonna mention. So as of lately, we've been playing with the idea of putting this podcast on Spotify. We mentioned this 2 episodes ago. And we're going to go on Podbeam, because right now Podbeam is probably the best deal you can get when it comes to an aggregator site. And that is what is required to stream to Spotify. You need an aggregator site, and you have to have more than 1 episode. And so once you get up to a certain plateau on how many episodes you can do for, like, say, Podbeam, we can transfer our entire playlists from here on YouTube and Podbeam over to Spotify. A lot of our viewers have been requesting us for a while now, for the last couple, I would say since we started this fucking thing. Everybody and their brother wants us to go to the Apple Store. They want to go to Spotify. They want to go to SoundCloud. Like, they want that portability, so that way they don't need to use their internet for it. They can just listen to us while they work out and stuff, which is cool. A lot of our viewers for a while there were truck drivers, so I'm taking that into consideration. So we're looking at revamping this, the podcast for this. And when we do this, we will roll it out, and I'll announce it on my Twitter. You're going to see it everywhere. You're going to see it on our Discord server, which, by the way, I'm revamped. I'm still revamping it. I'm still doing a lot of stuff to change it. I deleted a lot of nonsensical stuff that didn't make sense that was in there. And I deleted some roles and stuff that didn't make sense. I cleaned it up a lot. And we're going to start using the Game Talk server again, because right now the way it's set up is clean, it looks nice, and we're going to get our communities involved again. So I think it's time that the Game Talk server starts being used again. That's happening. I have something in the works right now for the Game Talk. I don't want to say what it is exactly, but I'm going to be paying my buddy off, and he's going to work on it with me, and it's going to look good. It's going to look good. And that's, in the future. I have to wait until this next paycheck, but it's going to be, the whole channel is going to be done. So I hope you guys like the changes that are coming. I hope you guys enjoy the server once again. Like I said, cleaned it up quite a bit. A lot of the old rule sets that were in there are no longer there. It's pretty simple stuff, really, because Discord already offers a TOS for a NSFW site, and I thought that was cool. So I figured since they already have their own TOS, there's no reason to put our TOS in there. So I removed our TOS. So that was one of the biggest things that you guys didn't like. So it's gone. Consider it deleted.
One other change Brimstone has made, he's brought me on board. I want to say everybody.
I mean, Rev, we already knew you're on board, man.
Yeah, well, he brought me in. I'm hoping the last couple of weeks I've been doing, bringing some different takes to the show. I hope you guys enjoy my voice and
different alternatives are always good, man.
And everything. So let me know.
And we have I just installed the Me6 bot into the Discord server to announce whenever we go live or when the video is updated or uploaded to YouTube. It'll automatically mention all of you guys in the server to let you guys know that, hey, we did a podcast, we didn't sleep on it, it's there. I put the link of this channel into the Discord server, and I mentioned to everybody, so that way nobody can sit there and say, is anybody doing the podcast anymore?
Oh, and if you're wondering what's this alien-looking thing, community that we're a part of as well, called Twisted Nation.
Oh, okay.
So you guys know if I'm wearing this shirt, you guys may be asking, what's this big bright thing on your shirt? This is the Twisted Nation shirt. I wear it,
And Twisted Nation is a lot. So Twisted Nation is a lot like the Game Talk podcast crew. We all kind of like just to chill in the chat, play games together, have fun, try to keep drama out. I mean, we just try to be laid back, or sometimes we'll be, stupid, and we say stupid shit all over streams, and sometimes it's super raunchy. I mean, it happens, but we like to have fun. So
and guys, let us know if there's any more, like if you want to see a like page, or maybe you want to see something uniquely different. Let us know. We're always down for changes. We're always down to hear suggestions, whatnot.
Yep.
We brought Brimstone brought back the webcams because it was brought to our attention. You guys want more of it, and you guys want to see our sexy faces. I get it.
Plus the quality, dude. The quality that Discord offers over Skype is probably the best quality I have ever seen.
It's better than Hangouts and Skype.
Oh, God. Hangouts was a nightmare, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, Brim becomes an e-girl. No. No, just like I said, man, we're doing a lot of updates. We're trying to make a better experience for a lot of people. A lot of the rules,
take it to the next level.
A lot of the rules that you guys hated, a lot of the shit that you guys hated is now gone, right? So the only thing that's remained is the supporter role. So if you've watched our podcast and you've been active in our chats and you've shared us on Twitter and you've shared us all across the board, you will become a supporter role, and that will give you access to the chat. It'll give you access to all the channels, the whole 9 yards. There's no more secret channels that people were worried about. They weren't really a secret channel. It was just a moderator channel so that we could talk, and discuss the problems with the server and its members. I did away with that for one reason. If I have a problem with you and we have issues, we're just going to talk it out in the actual channel chat itself, so everybody has access to it. So there's that. There's no more like supporter only chats, or the viewer channel is what I used to call it. I deleted it. I figured, fuck it, let's just have everybody have access to the general chat at the very least, so we could all talk to each other. So there is that.
Guys, we do this on Sundays and Mondays, so if you guys want to be part of the show, hit up Brimstone a couple of days beforehand, ask him,
Well, we kind of do it like a graveyard sort of setup. It's like we stream like Saturday night to Sunday morning, and then we stream again like Sunday night, which is Monday, or technically Monday morning, or we try to, and if we can't, then I'll do Monday night to Tuesday morning, which is what we're doing tonight. So that's what
So hit him up like a day beforehand so we can get you in on the webcam session.
You can have a webcam. Yeah, you have a webcam. It's just a better experience for our viewers. But if you're too shy, you're still gonna be like, your image will still be here. So the way you see it right now with the 2 cams and how clean it looks, it'll be like that for as many people we have in here, because it actually shrinks down and it scales to size. So there's that. And
so just make sure to hit up Brimstone like a day, so we know what's going on.
I would say hit me up like a week, because sometimes I'm not on all the time. Yeah. So hit me up like a week ahead of time to let me know, hey man, I want to be in there with you. Let me know. I will message you when I see your message. I've been doing a lot better with that lately. I've been actually looking at my inboxes lately, which I normally don't. I just jump into a server and I tell this guy, oh hey, I'm on, and that's pretty much my night. I'm terrible at looking at my inbox. So there's that. So I've been trying to work on that.
And the reason why I say that is hit them up like a week or a couple of days beforehand is because so we can know the name, so we can when we start the party in Discord, we could just add you in, so we know the names, so it makes it easier on ourselves. Now I've heard from others that you can do in a voice chat, you can do webcams as well through a server. I don't see how that works, how that works properly, Yeah. So a lot of things we're messing with, and we're getting things together. Cool. Check out our Twitters, because we're always consistently keeping it updated, for you guys, what's going on.
And so
on both sides.
Yeah, I want to touch on that real quick. So right now, I am not the one that's tweeting on the official Game Talk podcast Twitter. That is Gangster. So any of the politics shit that he says, it's him. It's not us. We've pretty much given him the Twitter. It's like his Twitter pretty much. So, but he does his best to promote, and he does his best to help us out. So that's kind of where that's where he lies right now when it comes to the Twitter post. So there is that. Now, as always, we are always going to promote artists like XP here, because he's a fantastic asset to the group and the podcast itself. Brim sounding like Vader vaping like that. But XP is always going to be promoted here. He's got a home here all the time. If he ever wants on, he's always welcome. Rev, you said you're going to end up bringing an artist around, right? Like, you want to start promoting your buddy.
Yeah. So his name's Trey Hendricks. I was thinking maybe we can keep the XP thing. Maybe at the end we could do a little different. Feature a couple artists. A buddy of mine's been asking me for a while. Hey man, I heard you do a podcast. Do you mind shouting me out every once in a while? He's being nice about it. He's a local guy. I went to high school with him. He's doing the rap game, like the underground rap game, and his music's not too bad. Very clean, and you can understand what the hell he's saying. You can understand what he is saying. Like some of the rappers, he's trying to pay homage to the 90s. Literally,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's trying to keep it 90s rap, with some new school stuff.
Now,
Does
he just rap, or does he actually compose his own beats too?
Yeah, he composes his own beats. He has a friend and him work together, in his studio, and they come up with stuff. He's a huge Angels fan, so everything that's his new album is going to be all dedicated to the Angel, because he's a huge fan and he loves Mike Trout. Everything is going to be dedicated to that. And I'll introduce Brimstone to his music in the future, so he can get a taste before he puts it out to you guys. I wanted him to have a taste before he puts it out there to you guys.
And I'll be honest. I'll straight up be honest if I like it or not. That's just how I am.
We'll go with it if he likes it. If he doesn't, then I'll feature it some other way.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm not gonna lie. If it's rap, I'm not big into rap.
Clean.
I'm not big in rap, but you said it's clean, and to me, that kind of rap has always been like what attracts me to them. So I hope it's as clean as you say it is, because I've heard people say they could rap, and they sound like the UK mumble raps. Oh yo man, yo Mike, like it's terrible.
Yeah. I got nothing more to add. We're good.
All right, you guys. Thank you for watching the Game Talk podcast once again. We did away with the number scheme that I had for Season 2. We will conclude Season 2 at the end of the year, and I believe that's when we will finally be able to just move on with a new beginning together, and we hope to bring more people in, so that way we have more than just the two of us to bounce ideas off of. Hopefully
just the two of us.
Hopefully like-minded people that are into, consoles, the PC game, tech in general. People that are just really into these kind of things.
Aren't you doing a Sunday thing?
Oh yeah.
I forgot to mention.
Yeah. I'm glad you reminded me. Sunday Squad Day is still happening. Unfortunately, though, my sleep schedule because of my job is sort of conflicting with it, because a lot of my friends and my acquaintances and stuff do not have the same time frame as I do. Like, these guys are literally waking up when I'm going to bed.
Are you going to be adding jukebox games and stuff like that?
What do you mean?
Like music, like Jack Party games and...
I could. Yeah, I
Make
could.
it into a fun thing?
Yeah, we totally could. Yeah, definitely, dude.
Right on.
And I better get this, because I knew this was going to happen. The autoplay feature on this. I'm like, oh, no copyright strikes. No copyright strikes, please. Yeah, dude, it's definitely going to happen.
Right on.
But if you guys enjoyed this, please let us know in the comments below. If you're watching this because the Me6 bot let you know in the Game Talk, please let me know. Do you think that's a helpful feature to have in the Game Talk server? Because, like I said, I just did it tonight. So, you guys, as always, have a great night. Share us on Twitter, all your social medias. Let us know down below. Have a great night.